Hey, it's Mario once again. Thank you guys for joining us on my podcast, Breakfast with Mario. Today, I don't want to say I'm excited. I am ecstatic, super ecstatic, because the fact that God blesses me in so many ways, and in one of the ways that God has blessed me is surrounding me with wonderful people. I invited a good friend of mine that is a legend in the football world. To me, outside the football world, he's my own legend because of everything he does for our communities, for everything that he's represented, and for so many girls out there, he's helped. Former Raider, wide receiver, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl MVP, and I wish I could say he's my dad. But with us is Fred Bilitnikoff.
Thank you, Mario. You're pumped up today.
I'm stoked, man.
I know, that's great.
I mean,
That's great.
I don't even know how to express it. Number one, the fact that you're a busy man. You're all over the nation, flying up and down, with like you said, with a little puppy next to you.
Yeah.
So I'm just stoked and honored at the fact that you accepted my invitation to be here with me, man. That means
Always. Always. I mean, you're in our family, you're special. To me, you're
you.
special.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
to Angela, you're special. And you help us out so much with our foundation. You're so generous. You always have a smile. I've seen a little grumpy side of you every now and then, but not very often. But you do so much in the community. It's. I remember when you first opened a place, over on Sierra.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
Then Douglas.
Yeah.
Okay, then Sierra. Then here. Where the hell are you going? You're going all over the place.
Well, God has been blessing us, little by little. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you immensely. And thank you for making me feel like family when I'm with you
You
guys.
are.
You and your wife, Angela. I want to let our viewers know who really Fred Bilitnikoff has been, but not only on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
We know that you played for the Raiders for a lot of years. To me, you became... to me, I'm going to say it this way, one of the top 3 best wide receivers in the history of the game.
Okay.
But I have to say that 2 of the top 3 didn't play during your time. During your time, you had to pick up your head from the field and put it back on your shoulders, right?
You're right.
And,
Absolutely.
It was hard football times.
No rules.
So, we watched you play during those times,
Mm-hmm.
and you showed who you were. You showed your perseverance and all that. How do you feel about all that?
I feel, I feel good because, all my life, where I was born and raised, you were raised in such a way, there was a lot of discipline. And there were only 2 things. You were either right or you were wrong. And that's it. There was nothing in between. And that's how you lived. That's how you grew up. And that's what I've kept through my entire life. You're either right or you're wrong. And I've kept that. Basically, that's what surrounds me in my life. With me, if somebody, you're either right, you're wrong. You did it a good way, or you did it a bad way. You either have success or you failed. And it's a lot of people. They kind of color it in different ways, which I don't like.
Okay.
You know, I like to have people that are stand-up people that you look at them and you know, hey, that's a stand-up guy. Like I look at your stand-up guy. And that's what I've been fortunate enough to be around all my life.
Okay. You say you had very strict parents, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You know, if you, you know, growing up, you know, we didn't have much. You know, you had to learn to appreciate everything that your mother was doing, my father was doing. You know, my mother was not only was a homemaker, you know, she cleaned offices, she cooked for kids at different schools, and I don't want to say she was a homemaker, but she was a homemaker in a sense, but she took care of us at home and then took care and worked. And this was at night all the time. You know, I remember her going and catching a bus up to, I was born in Erie, Pennsylvania, from the east side, catching a bus on up to the west side to clean offices and getting done at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, wow.
You know, after she took care of us. My dad was a welder all his life. He was a fighter in the old type of fighting, and he was a disciplinarian, and you didn't get away with anything growing up. And, you know, it's sometimes you kids, and I've seen kids in the era in where I grew up, you know, it all depends how you handle it. And if you can't handle it mentally and toughness, which is tough with a kid when you have a lot of discipline and you're expected, you know, if you're supposed to be home at 9 o'clock, you got to be home at 9 o'clock. You know, if
That's how they were with you.
Yeah, I mean, if you walk through that door at 9:01, you had a problem.
Okay.
And
okay.
and that went through even all the way through high school with me. You know, if my dad told me, okay, well, you know, when I was a senior, I'd go, hey, you be home at 12 o'clock. If you didn't walk in that door at 12 o'clock, you had a problem. And that's how it was. I mean, you have that hesitancy because you're scared too. You know. That's it, my old man. You know, you go through a lot of physical stuff in your life and all that stuff for your parents. You know, I always say, in a kidding way, you know, to keep it light in my mind all the time. You know, we had the rotary phones when I grew up.
Yeah.
Okay, party lines, all that
those,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, you know, kids go, oh yeah, well, yeah, if there's a problem at home, dial 911. The kids now, okay, like that, okay, or get whatever.
Yeah.
Hell, with a rotary phone, if I try to go to a phone and dial 911, the 9 when we get back, I have a broken arm. All right.
Yeah.
But you know, at that time, you handle it different ways. I mean, I had two other brothers, and we all we handled it different ways. All three of us, you know, not the same way.
Yeah.
And it has an effect on you. You know, later on in life, you know, you try not to be too much like your dad. You know, that type of thing, and that continues all your life.
Freddy, I have always said in life, the final product shows the work that you did.
Yeah.
So I don't know where your dad is right now, but he made a Hall of Famer. He made one of the best wide receivers of all time. And for that, you have had to have structure and discipline.
Oh, definitely.
You went on to play at Florida State University.
Mm-hmm.
Our nation has the Fred Bilitnikoff Award in your honor.
Yes, it does.
So when we talk about your dad, about the job that your mom and dad did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, you know, no matter what, I look at it this way, no matter how you were raised, and I truly believe this in everyone, and this is just my opinion, no matter how you were raised, they're still your mother and father.
Yes.
No matter what. And that's how I've always looked at it. And it helped me from the standpoint, like, you know, you talk like I leave Erie, Pennsylvania, with the total ethnic grouping in Erie, different ethnic. So you learn how to get along with everybody, no matter what ethnic group they are, no matter who they are, no matter what they do, and you learn that. And then when I went to Florida State, it was totally segregated still, you know. So I leave Erie and go down to Florida State in Tallahassee, and it's a whole different lifestyle.
Another culture.
Yeah, a whole different culture. And Then, when I left Tallahassee, Florida State, I chose to go out to California to be with the Raiders, and that was a whole different culture. So going through all that and talking about all that, I feel very fortunate that I've been able to live in 3 different cultures that people don't get a chance to. In Erie, then to Tallahassee, then out to California.
Yeah.
And I feel very fortunate to be able to see so many different parts of life, how people live in the United States, and being around that type of culture, being around different types of people and how they live, how they handle life, what their upbringing was, or different situations, and it's been really a great education for me.
Growing up, were you a self-initiative kind of guy? And the reason I'm going to ask this for the parents out there, a lot of parents ask me, "Hey Mario, my son has a bunch of potential, this and that. My son is amazing." But in today's world, in today's culture, I don't see kids out on the fields all day.
Right.
I don't see kids in the gym all day and putting the effort that they need to put in.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I believe that the players back then, when you were around, had a different mentality than today's athletes.
Oh yeah, you see, because when you grow up in the part of the country that I did, your sport lifestyle in the neighborhood where you're living is that if you're going to play a sport, and this is not when the sports are going on, this is like I don't want to say the off season, but in the yard, you're playing over in the lot or whatever. You're playing against all different types of age guys. And if you were, I started off as a young kid, and playing with the older kids. And if you wanted to play, you had to play. If you got beat around, that's part of it.
Okay.
And that's how I was growing up in sports, in that type of neighborhood, around tough guys, good players. Excellent players, guys I admired. And I played, like when I was in 7th, 8th grade, going to junior high school, I admired a lot of guys in our neighborhood that were juniors and seniors, and watching them play football, basketball, baseball, and everything. Those guys, when I was growing up, were our neighborhood heroes.
Okay.
And that's the atmosphere I grew up. So you grew up with, you had to have that toughness. And you had to be able to have that, now you can say the mental toughness, but actually you don't know mental toughness. You just know physical toughness. And that's it. You learn, you know what you learn? You learn to take a beating.
Okay.
You learn to get beat up.
Beatings are necessary, to be honest.
You learn to take a beating in sports and keep going.
Right, Mom? Beatings are necessary? Okay.
And you learn to keep going. And if you don't, when they're picking the teams, and you guys over here, you're not going to get picked.
Okay.
If you want to get picked, you got to be right in with the older guys. And
so that being said, Freddie, how old were you when you thought, "Oh my God, I have a chance to become a professional football player"? Did you realize it, or did people start telling you that?
Went down to Florida State. I had success in high school football.
Okay.
It was good. Great, I don't know. But enough, enough to make a name for myself in my hometown. And then I went to Tallahassee and played. I struggled. My first couple of years, it wasn't fun. I struggled a lot and didn't start doing anything until like my sophomore year, the end of the year, and then my junior year. And then, of course, my senior year. And then, like, the NFL draft wasn't huge with us then, but it was there. And, you were thinking about getting drafted, but it's not like now.
Okay.
Guys get mad if they don't get drafted number 1 or in first round.
Yeah.
I was happy just to get drafted. And that's just the way it was. And so what impact? Like my college career, I played well in my junior year, but my senior year was a big year. And so how you're going to handle going from there, it's really up in the air, because it's a whole different world when we went to professional football.
What feeling did you get, Freddie, that the day when you got the call and you were notified that you were drafted. I don't know how they did it back then.
Yeah,
But,
it was crazy. It was crazy because,
Okay.
well, you had the AFL and the NFL, the
Okay.
two leagues, and the AFL was a young league, and so Al Davis was the owner and head coach then with the Raiders, and I got drafted by Detroit, which I had relatives still living in Detroit
Okay.
at that time, and so you have to make a choice. Where are you going to go? And I really wanted to go away. You know, I was that adventuresome. I wanted to get away from home like a lot of people do. And I had that opportunity to go down to Florida State, and I took the chance. Then when the draft came and I got drafted by the Raiders and Detroit, I had another choice to make. You going to stay in Detroit or you want to go to California? I said, hell, I'll go to California.
Yeah, they have a beautiful
Yeah.
women in California, Freddie.
Well, it was crazy then because you had all the flower
Yeah.
children and everything when I came out.
Yeah.
I came out to Oakland at the time, but that's just the way it was. So there wasn't no big buildup to the draft,
Okay.
and money wise, it was good because you made more money than your mother and father put together.
All right. Okay.
And was it a lot? No. I mean, hell, I had, like, when I signed with the Raiders, I was making enough money to live on. I was married, had 2 children, and young, just making enough money. Hell, my off-season job was I parked cars for 2 years down here at the racetrack down in Emeryville.
Okay. Oh, wow.
At
Yeah.
Golden Gate Fields.
What's it called? Golden Gate Fields. I was going to say Golden Gate
I
Fields.
parked cars there for 2 years in the off season, and
Okay.
I made pretty close to what I was making with the Raiders.
Yeah.
And I learned to gamble on the horses.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah, so that was my off season job, and so that's how I started.
When did it get better?
Oh, it got better, and when we moved from downtown Oakland, Frank Yule Field, out to the Oakland Coliseum when it was brand new, and then that would be like 65, 66, moved there in 66. It started getting better in 66, 67, because like my first year, I had a horrible time getting adjusted to play professional football, and it was a real struggle and battle. And then my second year, I started off the season, and then I tore up my knee, so I was out the whole rest of the year. So when I came back my third year, I was on a bubble. There was no reason for me to even start. I mean, I went to training camp that year, going to my third year, coming off a knee injury, and in question. I mean, I didn't do anything my training camp. I mean, I never practiced one day in training camp. I was one of the others.
Uh-huh.
And so I used to have to stay out afterwards and work and try to get catching balls, going over what we did in practice, and did that. And then the only game I played in preseason was the last one against the 49ers, and I played with a minute 20 seconds left in the game.
Okay.
And that was it. And,
Were you worried about your career during that time?
oh, absolutely. I mean, I was married, got 2 children. I mean, hell yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got hurt that second year, and I mean, it's like one of those old operations they used to do on your knee.
I appreciate. Now I'm seeing the whole scope, so I immensely appreciate the fact that that you're telling me all this, because in today's NFL world, you got drafted number 1, you got drafted number 2, you got drafted number 3, and you end up with a good paycheck.
Absolutely, you do.
Right?
Yeah.
But a lot of these young kids that go into the NFL are not prepared. I call it emotional intelligence. They're not prepared
Right.
to receive those checks.
No, they're not.
They don't have the humbleness. They're not humble enough to know how to approach the money that they're getting. I'm noticing that a lot of those kids with talent come into the NFL, and they throw their careers away doing stupid things.
And they're millionaires.
And they're millionaires,
And
exactly.
they throw it away.
So you telling me what you went through showed me that you overcame obstacles. You persevere. It wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't.
You went and, once again, you went and became Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
And you became a Raiders legend through the hard work that you put in.
Well, like going back a few minutes ago when I was telling you, like my first 2 years, I had that mental toughness and physical toughness, always. Okay, that's just how I was brought up. Okay, like we had talked, but then after that, I learned in now those first 2 years that, you weren't here to have fun playing professional football. This was a business, and if you didn't get off your ass and working, and see that opening when it comes, you better take it, because nobody's going to stick up for you. Nobody's going to go give you a pat on the back. Your whole family are going, oh yeah, he's great, all that stuff like that. You're all alone, because everybody at that period of time, they're fighting for a job. They just want to be on a team,
Okay.
So it's a lonely feeling. Believe me, I know what it feels like, and so going through that really taught me a lesson that, something, don't ever get complacent. And if you get complacent, you're going to get run over with, and the next thing you know, you're going to be what I always call, you have your facility, and it's pretty damn cold outside those gates.
Yes.
Okay, as long as you're inside those gates, it's pretty nice and warm. If you're outside those gates, and I was outside those gates for a short period of time. I know what it's like, But then things turned around for me. They started going my way slowly but surely, and it's a lot warmer inside than it is outside. Believe me.
I don't know if your dad ever told you this, Fred, but my mom would always use this phrase. She would say, "Mario, the world is round. And the world is turning little by little. You don't even feel it.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to stay on top."
Yeah.
That's what she would tell me.
Hey.
And she goes, and if you are not humble enough to receive the gifts that God has given you, you're going to end up in the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, easily.
That's what she would tell me.
Yeah.
Bless my mom. And obviously, everything you went through worked for you. The question that I have for you is, ever since I known you, I think now we've known each other for 10 years.
Yeah.
Freddy, you've always been really humble. Was that always the case, or throughout the years?
Yeah.
Did
No,
you
it
become
was.
more humble?
It was. Yeah,
Okay.
Because I always looked at playing football in professional football. It's a job, and I learned years ago watching all these people where I grew up go to work. I mean, they had a job. They had to go. They had to get out of bed, get up early in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, go to work, and get home 6, 7 o'clock at night. And it worked. Football to me was a job.
Okay.
And that's how I approached it.
Put food on the table.
Yeah.
And a roof over your head.
Yeah, because and I knew what it was like not to have anything, because I grew up in that.
Okay.
And I knew what it was like later on to have something, and it just makes common sense. You want nothing, you want something.
Yeah.
And I always looked at it this way. My playing career with the Raiders. I've talked to people and I go, what are you willing to sacrifice, to reach a level that you really want to reach and play to? And I don't know if you can plan that out. I really, truly believe God makes it go that way, depending on what you're willing to sacrifice.
Yes.
And, I mean, I've sacrificed, because, getting back a second ago, asking or speaking to a group, what are you willing to sacrifice? And, when you're talking that, people think you're talking to generalities, but are you willing to sacrifice, like, what's more important? If you have the opportunity to go work out, go run, do this, and your family's there, are you willing to tell them, I'm not going to be here the rest of the day, I got to work out? Are you willing to sacrifice that relationship then? Are you willing to do that through your whole career? Are you willing to avoid friends that you're too busy because you're doing this? Are you willing to, what actually are you, to what extent will you go to sacrifice to take the time to be great?
Right. So that being said, Fred, I know you were obviously a superstar in the NFL on the pitch, as we say it in Europe. What is the biggest obstacle you have had to overcome in your personal life?
Well,
if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I mean, you know something. You when you go through life, and it's a journey.
Yeah.
And you got to learn it's never level. It's never. I don't care. To this day, it's never level. And you've got to know. I mean, you can't be ignorant of the fact that during your life, there's going to be a lot of setbacks. There's going to be a lot of hills and valleys, and it's like the old song, "Only the strong survive."
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
And that's what I believe in. Okay,
Yeah.
only the strong survive. I mean, I haven't done the best things in my life, but that was all what I sacrificed too. I'm never going to go back because that's what I decided to do, and that's what I did. And that was my commitment to myself. And it ends up being a commitment to everybody around you, even though, you get at times a little greedy. But the greediness comes from, if you're not greedy with your time as an athlete, you develop frustration. And I don't want to deal with the frustration anymore. So I would rather not be greedy and not deal with it, and I just go forward. This is what I need to do.
I think that I love speaking with you, and throughout the years we have had conversations, very personal conversations. I have always, one of my prayers was always, God, forgive me for my choices. Forgive me for my choices that I can't go back on. I gone through 2 divorces.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would put my head down, but in reality, God has so much grace for me that He knew my heart, and He forgave me, gave me grace, and opened up doors. In your case, you married a wonderful woman.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have an amazing wife, and Angela Bilitnikoff.
Yep.
Thank you for not being here.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Angela. I'll get to her later about that. But she's played a huge role in your life.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
Big role in your life.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have an age difference in our life, and I mean, we've been together 41 years.
Yes.
And it wasn't easy in the beginning. Angela was young. I was older, of course. And why she stayed, I have no idea, but she stayed.
You're sexy, man.
Yeah.
You're sexy.
But I remember the first time I saw her, I loved her, and I still love her to this day, the same way. And I still look at her like I looked at her when she was 24 years old when I first saw her.
Wow.
And just getting back to what you were asking me before, I kind of got off track a little bit. One of the things in our life, and of course Angela went through it, is when our daughter Tracey got murdered. And that was we had to make a decision at that time because, we saw a young lady, and she was from my second marriage, and, you look back on it, if you were home, she wouldn't have got mixed up in drugs and drinking and everything. Well, that's true to a certain extent, but you don't know. Okay? But anyway, we saw a young lady make a commitment to getting clean and sober. And she really got into it. And to honestly say, it wasn't any influence from her mother, or it wasn't any influence from Angela and I. It was her decision.
Good for
So
her. Good for her.
when we started with our foundation, Angela and I and Angie, you know how much Angela's got the thing rolling and everything like that. You know, she really got into it. That was the most disappointing thing after seeing her in a residential program, what she went through, what she did, what she accomplished, and what she wanted to do, and then this disaster happens to her. That was probably one of the most disappointing things I've seen, not only in our life and our family, but to a person.
Yeah, let me explain to our viewers out there. Tracey was murdered, and obviously as a parent, I don't even know what I don't have words on what Fred, you and Angela must have felt. But what Fred and Angela did, they started an organization under Tracey's Place of Hope, and I believe that God is using you immensely because Fred, outside of the football world, people in our nation don't really know that you're making a huge difference in so many women's lives. Yeah. Women's that are getting a second chance.
Yep.
Women's that have been in drugs before and that come and use your home to recover. Mm-hmm. And then they're on their way to being successful.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Tracy's death, and I see it, you know, all the time happening to people. You have this choice when that happens. It's if you want to crawl in that dark hole and be there the rest of your life, you can. Okay, and nobody will blame you because I mean, it's way something that people. I mean, it's crushing. And or you can do something. And I mean that black hole's always going to be there. But to avoid that black hole, what can you do constructively to do something to contribute?
Yes.
And we just couldn't let Tracy's effort go to the side. And when we started the foundation, and luckily enough, and I'm very fortunate enough to be with Angela, because I was still coaching. Then the different coaching jobs I had, and then with the Raiders for a big period of time, who have been a big support of ours with domestic violence, and so somebody has to carry the load, okay, and it's been Angela.
Yeah, God sent her to you.
Oh,
sure.
And I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't know. I still don't know to this day how she does it. Because, I mean, she is like totally committed. And, of course, I'm sort of, Angela's the leader. She leads us. And that's the truth. I mean, you know, there's no doubt about it. You see a good-looking guy. She goes, "Oh, she's the fluff." No, I'm the fluff. Okay. And so, I mean, I still have my part with the foundation, and but Angela is the center of the foundation.
Yeah, she's got incredible energy, Freddie.
Oh yeah, and you know,
she doesn't get tired. That woman.
Well, you know what? This is what I really wanted. When we started, and Angela and I talked, I go, we've seen so many foundations start, so many foundations fold.
Yeah.
We've seen so many foundations that have so many corporate people involved that it's not a foundation. And the only thing I ever told Angela, I don't want to get into the corporate group and they're telling you what to do, all that. I said, I want you and I to do what we want to do with this foundation.
Good for you. Okay.
And that's what I've always stayed, pretty adamant with. Well, yeah. Not adamant, pretty, always.
Freddie, before I conclude with you, Has there been that special girl in your in the house, or that you have made a difference that you will always remember?
We've had probably so many
Yes.
that we've seen over the years, and their stories. You sit there and listen to their stories. People would not believe that people actually have to live like they've lived, and you wonder how 14, 15, 16-year-old girls have gotten to that point in their life.
Yeah.
With all that, ugly stuff going on in their life. It's ugly. It's shocking to hear some of their stories. Really shocking. It's like when you watch one of those scary movies. That's the type of life they've lived, and to see what we've done. And I've seen numerous girls, so I don't have a favorite. After a short period of time being in, like at Tracey's Place of Hope, say in Loomis, after like 30 days, you see a whole change.
Yeah.
They have a smile on their face.
Yeah.
And that's the reward.
Yeah.
That's the reward you get. And you get a chance to listen to their stories, to understand them more, to be part of the program. And Angela has done so many things with the girls, getting them out to different functions, football games, to the theater, whatever she could do to help. Angela's right there.
It's very clear to me, Fred, that God didn't just use you to be an NFL superstar or just to be a Hall of Famer. It's clear to me, it's very clear to me that you continue to have a purpose in this life right now, and that on a daily basis, God knows exactly what he's doing with you, man. Believe me when I tell you this.
I believe
because
you.
It's pretty clear from the outside picture
I believe you.
that Freddy Bilitnikoff was being sculpted by God to play the role that you are with all these girls that have been in need of help.
Yep, I know.
And you're making a difference in their lives. So not only, to me, you're not only in the NFL Hall of Fame, but to me, you have God's favor in so many ways. And to me, you're one of the universe's best, man.
Well, thank you.
People don't know you as well as I have gotten to know you. But Freddie, I'm very proud and honored.
Well, I got a little story to tell you
Please tell
before
me.
we get done, okay?
Yes.
Years ago, when I in my teens, there was a movie that came out. Paul Newman was the lead guy, all right? And he was a fighter. And where he grew up and how his dad was and everything, and in Brooklyn, how he grew up and everything, seeing a whole transformation and how his father was and everything, it hit home. And I've never forgotten that movie because in the end, he wins the heavyweight championship. They're driving through Brooklyn in the car in the neighborhood, and people are out there clapping for him and everything. And he takes 1 second, and he looks at his wife. He goes like this: "Somebody up there likes me."
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten that. Somebody up there likes me.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
and
you've
that's
been
what
chosen.
I truly believe.
You've been
Yeah.
chosen. No doubt in my
Yeah.
mind. You're the little percentage of this world. I have always told you, you're the little percentage of this world. But once again, thank you, Freddie, for you taking the time to come and be with me and share a little bit about your life. Freddie and Angela continue to live here in our area. They continue to have Tracey's Place of Hope. Remember that Tracey's Place of Hope continues to help out girls that need a second chance, that gives them hope to continue to live a healthy life with structure and discipline. Tracey's Place of Hope. Please don't forget those words.
And thank you for being our friend.
No, thank you. Thank you,
I really
Freddie.
mean that from
Yes.
the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Both of us.
My daughter is here, and she brought you I know your favorite dish is huevos rancheros.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to warm that up because the talk was so interesting. and she brought me chilaquiles and everything, you know. They always do that when we're having an interview. They bring food, but we're so interested in talking, you know.
The place still a little warm.
No, we'll get it warmed up. But everybody out there, thank you so much. Raiders won, by the way. Raiders won the first game.
Yep. We're 1-0. Thank
Yeah.
God for the start.
Pete Carroll's 1-0 with the Raiders,
Yep.
guys. So thank you, Freddie.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you, buddy.
And I have a
Thank you.
feeling that this is going to continue to be a wonderful year for you. And thank you for everything that you and Angela do for our community, for everybody here in the area of Sacramento and Las Vegas. Shout out to everybody in Vegas. So we're grateful.
Thank you.
And blessings, Freddie.
Well, thank you so much.